A little bit of chains in mid. Swindon Melons is fine. He's a DK.
But yeah, what I was getting at, this lane in mid is actually a very good lane matchup for Ember compared to a lot of the matchups we see. The reason Ember mid is played pretty rarely in competitive Dota is that he's just a weak mid laner. He can get pressured very well by long-range heroes with harassment such as Queen of Pain and Lina. But Dragon Knight can't really put out the same amount of pressure. You Flame Guard and you just take the wave, and you can try to break the Flame Guard with Breathe Fire, but that doesn't cut it. It's not enough to remove it. So,
but then again, does he have to? Like right now, it almost feels like the Dragon Knight just has to sit there, farm it up as much as he can, and just don't die.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the other lanes are doing their work. Timbersaur's actually gaining momentum as a solo hero on this lane. For me, I think that's as scary than anything else that EG is going to be facing.
This is definitely what Complexity is.
Stormbolt, top lane, they go on Fear. Fly will get the Light Strike array as well with the Poison Touch. Fear, he won't have the movement speed to escape. Evil Geniuses! They're down 2 kills to 0 here in the early stages of Game 2.
Very good movement here from Z-Freak and Zizzy after the stun combo, making sure they get the maximal damage out of the Shadow Wave. Hitting 2 targets with Shadow Wave, dealing some good physical damage to Fear, bringing down the Razor.
Okay, I want to ask you about this. PPD, he's in the jungle for 4 minutes now. Found 3.5 levels with 2 points up in the aura. Does PPD come out and actually be a presence on this top lane? He's only got Frostbite right now. When does the Crystal Maiden become effective? And I'm asking this as well because I'm just thinking when it happens, PPD is just going to end up feeding himself.
He's going to need to find the best way for himself to have an impact while getting farmed. I think this is the kind of game where it's really important the Crystal Maiden gets farmed.
Middle lane.
It's kind of weird because you usually don't pick CM like
he's
that.
in real trouble.
Yeah.
Dragon Tail stun. He gets the Flame Guard up, however, so he's able to tank through a lot of this and actually turn on to Fly. The burn's doing his work, and Swindon Melons putting his body in front of him.
Level 3 Flame Guard blocks 350 magic damage, so it's both spells from Fly as well as a Dragon's, or a Breathe Fire pretty much. They need to get through that in the first place, and then, well, they haven't really damaged him. But yeah, what I was going to get at is that I think the CM in this game has to get farmed to get a good ultimate off, because, as mentioned, they will need to get some sort of magic damage in order to pierce all the armor. So PPD's involvement in this top lane should be, he should try for ganks when there's a really high probability of success, but he shouldn't come in just to harass. It's not going to be worthy of his time. He has to find a way to build toward a Glimmer Cape, for example, or something that will enable him to use the Freezing Field later on in the game. But full-time jungling is not good either. It's actually really slow on Crystal Maiden. It's deceptively slow. You're like, wow, I can keep
this has been opening right now, but he missed the chains, and that means Swindon Melons can turn around, goes to the Dragon Tussle over on the Tusker, Fly with his follow-up stun, but not enough life to really stay that close to the Ember Spirit. But this is the first rotation now from the Tusker. And Universe unable to find the opening while on bottom lane, Warcry. Sven just trying to outrun Fear. He stole 28 points of damage, but the creep wave also went so far behind the tower that Fear was forced to back up. He had no more support there.
So far, so good in the early game for Complexity, in my opinion. Sven is not finding that much, but neither is Razor. Like, the nature of this lane with how they're pressuring each other, a lot of CS will just be lost. And the effective trade-off is Ember is getting a really good mid lane for the Timbersaw getting a really good safe lane. And I think this is a very, very good Timber game. This hero shreds Ember as well. It's something we haven't talked about. By having 3 abilities that can potentially deal pure damage, of course Whirling Death depends on a tree, but the 2 others are guaranteed pure. They pierce the Flame Guard. So Moon Meander can very quickly make work of Sumail if he gets out of his
Searing Chain is going again here. Smelly's got Spirits to commit if he wants to go after Swindle, but coming underneath the tier 1 tower is not something he wants to do this early on. Let's actually just do a Timber Shake, because we haven't had a Timber really in a while. What's the item build that Moon Meander is looking to do in this game against EG's heroes as well?
I think if you get this much free farm, you're probably looking for Arcane Boots into Bloodstone. It's an item build that's so effective on Timbersaw because he gets so much armor from the reactive armor.
Swindon Melons is dead. Their Spirit, Snowball, he's only got 1 point up with the Dragon Blood. The double TPs are on the way, and it's actually Moon Meander coming in. He finds Universe, but needs more damage. He's not going to find it. Dazzler has a Shallow Grave himself. Sumail, Spirit's up, and he's actually, is that even on the high ground? I don't think that actually is. Oh, it is. It's just on the edge. He'll go up, while Aoi 2000 looking for some other revenge. His TP out. Will it be in time? No, it will not. Moon Meander will find the kill. It was still, however, Sven also dying on the top lane during this engagement. So EG find the better trade-off.
Yeah, this is very important. They don't only get 2 for 1, but they also force a rotation from Timber off that bot lane. So a little bit of farm gets lost. Moon Meander, however, did get 1 kill there, so I guess that kind of evens out in the end. But I'm actually surprised he didn't try to go for the Ember Spirit a bit earlier. When he TP'd in, his target of choice was the Tusk, who had like full health and should easily be able to escape. Whereas if he hits a Timber Chain there and catches Sumail off guard, he might have actually been able to blow him up. But probably just respecting the ability of his opponent. Expect a fast Fire Remnant into Jaunt, or what's it called? Activate Fire Remnant. It's actually a pretty boring name when you think about it. Fire Remnant and Activate Fire Remnant.
Well, as Blizz says, inventive names. What was it, the Dragon Knight? This is Blue Dragon. Doesn't even have wide eyes. But Complexity. They were trying to move around, and like Timbersaw was thinking about going up the top lane. There was a little bit of indecision, so he stuck around in mid, fakes the chain against Sumail. But this let the DK have a little bit more space on bottom lane. Went to Dragon Form, Swindle Melons, and he dropped that tower down by a grand total of 52 life. So maybe not as effective as I was initially thinking it was. But he's at least able to find his farm down here quite safely. So catching up on the CS. I say catching up, we're still sitting at 3k net worth, which is only 300 behind that of the Timber.
And this is overall just a very even game right now. Like, no one has a significant gold or experience advantage, and in my opinion, this just plays into Complexity's favor. Like, again, the way they've tailored their lineup, the time they're supposed to peak, if they get through the early game without too many troubles, Crystal Maiden's going to fall off unless she does get very good farm, which is definitely not the case right now for PPD sitting on 8 CS. The Naga Siren has not had a major impact. AUI is 0-2-0 with 8 CS, so the supports of EG falling behind, and the cores, that's the crazy thing, right? Even if EG's cores get really good farm, it just seems like Complexity from the draft standpoint definitely have some very good solutions if they play it right. So,
well, it's actually kind of funny though, like you bring up the CS factor, you've still got PPD, like most of these creeps he's taken are the big ones in the jungle. So he's only just off level 6.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as it could look like in the numbers, but yeah, it's not terrific either, saying these supports are going to do a lot of Sumail. Going to get forced out by Mumianda. He doesn't have a lot of mana. There are 12 1 charges, so we could jump for it, but really he was trying to keep him away from the runes. Speaking of that, Universe going to find himself an Invis rune, and instantly DK Swindle is forced back. In fact, he just abandoned bottom lane. Which is where, again, doesn't this feel the same as like game number 1? Howie has himself a bit of a slow start to Naga, and then all of a sudden finds himself space on one of the lanes. Before it was the safe lane, now it's going to be the off lane.
Yeah, they're going to need Song. It's very important. It's always with support Naga. Reaching level 6 is a really big deal.
Universe moving forward. They put the sentry ward down so they can see him, but he missed the shots. Snowball down, and Z-Freak needs a shallow grave quickly. Cannot get it off in time. And this means that it is the first kill coming in for EG for this mid-fight. The Swindlemelon's keeping on the back of Universe. The Sigil going to make this difficult to keep the chase going. Especially now as Sven has arrived. He's going to war cry it up. They can force the issue on the tower. Sumail, he's still got 9 1 charges, and in fact now has a full bottle as well. So he's still looking good to defend this.
He needs to be careful. Sumail's going to triple.
Oh, that's a lot of spirits, but then the stun, and Swindlemelons, he's going to get flipped by the Walrus Punch, and in fact Sven locked inside the shard. This time no Dazzle will be here, turning on the God String. They have to protect Sven, and there it is. They keep the Shallow Grave on him. He is ticking down in a moment at Sumail. There's your Searing Chain. They turn for one more stun, but it's still a double kill for Sumail. EG getting the upper hand in the mid lane.
Complexity, they really wanted to get that tier 1 tower mid, getting a little bit too greedy for it here with Swindle as well as Sizzy simply just got surrounded by with PPD's rotation there. Good rotation in from the left, so kind of sandwiched them there at the mid tier 1, and that's going to bring PPD up to level 7 as a matter of fact. This is a high level CM at minute 12. As mentioned earlier, his farm isn't that good, but he's still going to be able to pick up his Tranquils now. Probably, as mentioned, going to be looking for a Glimmer Cape as his next item of choice in this game. Potentially. It's also possible he's going to be even more ambitious and look for something like a BKB first, just to guarantee his ult. Because there's no BKB counter in this game for Complexity. And that will allow a guaranteed ult, which, once again, I think is going to be absolutely crucial for them.
Yeah, they need to slow down all these melee heroes running around, but still, one person who's not going to care about that is the Timbersaw. He's still able to move by Timber Chain. And again, Complexity, they're going to force the issue here. The Dragon Form comes back off cooldown. So you could just pop this and have the tower tick down. You would put the peril of the denial, which would be a decent amount of money taken away from Complexity.
And looks like EG are expecting this. They obviously have a very good high ground ward right now, seeing both Swindle and Z-Freak. So Universe is porting in anticipation of the push, but it's actually not coming just yet.
He might be worried also the fact that Fly went missing from the top lane, because they smoked up. So it's the movement coming in from Complexity. If they walked a little bit further to the side, then Fear would have actually broken the smoke. But they go in deeper. They're searching for the Crystal Maiden, and this should be an easy pickup. Just turn for the stun, but Fly a little bit too far away. Should be able to still hit the Light Strike array, but decides, you know what, maybe not the possibility. Go Laguna as well as Slave. Samal, the Spirit jumping down. He'll get the Searing Chains on Fly, who again, attempting a TP out, will not be in time. But the Sven will be able to survive. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, the push just keeps coming in. Same for mid lane. Dragon Form kicks in, and Evil Geniuses, they managed to walk all the way down. In fact, they're just going to go for the snowball. Searing Chains, where's it going to come from? Samal, not enough mana for it, even with the 3-1 charges. A very early Shallow Grave from the Dazzle, and there's not much more he can do here apart from a quick heal. Timbersaw will arrive, and Samal, no mana with the Whirling Death, but the Tusker, the shards are able to connect. He finds a kill on the DK, and now the Timbersaw's dropping as well. And EG, they brought in all their friends and had a party on Complexity's corpses.
They are just so greedy for this middle tier 1 tower, and EG are taking full advantage of it right now. This is very, very important for them to get a head start in this early game, and Razor being involved here as well is going to speed up Fear's mech, which I think is coming out soon, and a very big pickup against this Radiant team that has a lot of AoE burst damage. Sumail has eyes on Zizzy. They will need some sort of secondary TP to set this up though, but might also just be a counterplay coming in here.
There's your Searing Chain, Samal. He can't find this kill, not now that the Dazzle is up here. But he can at least force Dizzy out. Then again, Spirit jumps in, he's got Searing Chains up. But again, with the Dazzle behind him, Shallow Grave was on cooldown, but has come off cooldown now. He would have forced the issue just a little bit too long if he pushed for it.